Hello everyone, Froe here for another vanilla-ish Let's Play episode. Thank you for joining me, I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys are doing well today. To get us started with this episode, I wanted to discuss a little bit about monuments. And so we have 5 statues right here, all built to commemorate you guys, the commenters. So this is one fantastic example of monuments we've built in this world. And just down the path over here a little bit, we have a little subtler but still pretty cool monument to Spudtactular, a pickaxe we had to sacrifice a while ago. Actually, I think we have, it was death number 16, episode 7 and 8, that we died from that pickaxe. And we also have, the world defenders, these 2 statues here, and this tree as well as monuments, as well as many, many others throughout the world. And it's kind of like one of the biggest things about our world is that we like to commemorate most of our major achievements or major events. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up is we recently lost one of our pets. We lost Spud last episode, tragically. Even though he was in his home, he was like way back on that inside, very inside protected area over there. He still got hit by an arrow and started to attack some legendary boss mobs, and we just couldn't save him. As much as we tried, honestly. We were blind, we were being under attack, we almost died ourselves, and it was just a terrible situation. So I'm thinking we should probably build a monument for Spud. I think that would be a fantastic idea, a great way to commemorate him and give him a final resting place in our world. However, before we do that, I did want to address a couple comments. First one is from Todd13, and he says, I'm really intrigued by the RPG Datapack. But since I don't live in a mushroom biome, my walls are too tall, and I have an open base. I'm afraid I'm going to get invaded and slaughtered by the super tough mobs all the time. That's a really great question, and I'm sure other people have it as well. That's why I wanted to bring it up right away in the video here. I would say give the pack a try. I've changed the settings a little bit on the data pack so that I experience the boss mobs a little bit more often. And then also remember that through the power of editing, you only see the highlights. I don't show you all the boring boss fights. I only show you the good ones. So keep that in mind as well. There's a little bit of a bias there. So I'd say give it a try. If you don't like it, then remove the data pack and no harm is ever done. That's one of the beauties of that particular data pack, is it doesn't change your world long term. And the other comment I got is from Marcelesco. He said, rest in peace, Spud. So thank you. I agree, he was beautiful and peaceful, and I'm going to miss him very much. Some other thing I've noticed is that the boss mobs that are burning in the sun at some point might die. Maybe you could put some blocks way up in the sky to block them from the sun. And what he's referring to is these boss mobs right over here. Right? And so what he suggested is to put a block way up in the sky like that blue one right there to create like a little bit of shade for these guys so they don't burn. The problem is that's a little bit ugly, and I noticed that when I tried that, you could see that from different angles when you're looking around the world. So I didn't quite like that, and I couldn't find anything that blended in a little bit better. So instead, what I tried was giving them a piece of legendary gear as a helmet. So he's wearing like a legendary leather helmet, and then so is Hordier the Viking over there. And having that helmet will make it so that they don't burn. And then also, it's legendary, so it's unbreakable. So then they should always have that no matter what. Hopefully, at least. But yeah, that was a great suggestion. Thank you for making me think about it. I wouldn't have if you didn't bring it up. Cool, so let's go ahead and get started on building our monument. Step 1 is to get a whole bunch of water. Moving on to step 2, then we're going to grass it up together. It's a good thing that we got our water beforehand, because you usually get a little thirsty as you're doing this. And what we're going to be building for Spud, it's going to be a giant field. So that's what I'm kind of starting with right now. So what do I mean by giant field? Well, there's going to be a river here, and this is going to be the southern border of our field. And so the field's going to extend all the way down to about there, and then follow along these spruce logs, as well as this cliffside here is going to be the kind of like the eastern border of the field, I guess, all the way up until this mycelium, which is going to be the northern border. And here we're going to build a little bit of a valley. We already kind of have some low spots. So we're just going to dig out some of the hill a little bit and make it into an official valley. And this will be the northern border overall, following these spruce logs. And so that's going to be a pretty big project too. But what that ends up meaning is all of this grass area we're looking at is going to be the field for Spud. I was about to waste a bunch of iron making new buckets, and then I remembered we got Sylvester up at our turtle farm here. And what Sylvester will do is trade string for emeralds. And then we can take those emeralds and turn them into buckets of cod. And then what I've built is a decolonizer machine. So we just take this cod and throw it in this chest here. And a little bit later, there's going to be a bunch of empty buckets that file into here. So a while ago, I made a small change to our RPG data pack that makes it so that the unique boss mobs are persistent when they spawn naturally. And the biggest reason why I made that change is because I would gear myself up and get ready to fight them, but by the time I was all ready and got my battle gear on, they would have despawned. And since they are actually really rare to spawn, it got kind of frustrating. So I made that small change a little bit ago. The only problem is every once in a while I kind of notice that there's huge pockets of them, and that's what we're experiencing right here. So I figured, this would be a pretty fun way to take care of them if I don't die in the process, but I should be fine, hopefully. Yeah, so once they get in the lava, then they're kind of stuck, so we should be good in that regard. But yeah, there's quite a lot of them here. All right, so I cleared up the boss mobs. Let's get back to building here. This tree may look familiar. It's the same design we did for the cave spider tree quite a while ago. And this is going to be the actual monument for Spud itself. So, and it's a special design. You don't see many trees like this on the island. Usually we use stripped spruce logs. So I think it's a good way to commemorate Spud overall, or immortalize him. Alrighty, so it's time for the finishing touches of Spud's monument and his tree. The unfortunate thing is dogs in Minecraft don't drop anything, so the only real memento we have of Spud is his food bowl, which is what we're going to use to commemorate him. And just notice that there's a couple more boss mobs that spawned down there already. I was also thinking it'd be cool to get another puppy, so that's why I'm not going to clean up his bedroom area here, Spud's old room. Though I think I might modify it so that it's maybe a little bit safer for our next dog. But yeah, we're going to go on an adventure soon here. Probably not this episode, though, to get another dog. And it'd be cool to get one that has really high stats, because we do have that genetics data pack. So, I don't know. There's no way to there's these items in the game, or in the data pack, that are called catalysts. And there's no way to get them because they conflict with other data packs we have. So I might make a crafting recipe for them. What do you guys think of that idea? Usually they generate in dungeons, but if we could craft them, that would be kind of neat. Now, on top of that, I also want to add a data pack that makes it so that wolves are more customizable. You can add like potion effects or totems of Undying and stuff. So let me know what you think of that idea too. Now here is his tree. Oh man, it's an awesome looking tree, I think. I really like how grand it feels because it's up on the cliff a little bit. It definitely feels, it's a very prominent feature. It definitely commands your attention as you're walking past this area. And I like how it's a different color than the spruce trees we have up in the area. So it stands out in that regard. And I like how it's got like a woohoo branch here, and then another branch, woohoo, and then another woohoo branch there. And some droopy leaves as well. So I think the tree itself turned out pretty well. To get there, we have this path that we're going to connect from here, over to here eventually. And then there's this just kind of dirt path. Along the dirt path, we have this giant lake, which feeds into the river that goes towards our mob farm. And then also feeds into this river here through this little tunnel. And I went through and I decorated this lake as well with some kelp and then just some brown mushroom blocks for detail. And when I was doing that, I stumbled upon this cavern down here, which I think is kind of cool. It makes the lake feel deeper and like it goes down forever. I actually might want to expand that to bedrock. It might be a cool thing to do. But yeah, up this path over here is going to be Spud's tree. And so I'm thinking what we'll do is put his food bowl there. And then I did bring some signs with me so we can say, in memory of Spud. And then I think we got him in episode 19. I looked it up. So he died episode 53. Oh, man, he lasted such a long time too. I'm really sad that he died. This is the view of from history, the overlook, which I think that's kind of what I was going for. I just think it's a very pretty view. Now, if you notice, it's just a dirt field right now. I don't know what I'm going to plant here. The original idea was to plant wheat, but then as I was building it, I was thinking maybe we want to plant potatoes here because, it is Spud's field. Here's another great view of the tree, by the way. I really like how it turned out. I like the little cliff it's on and the flower decorations. Uh-oh, I'm stuck. I think overall it turned out pretty great. And we do have this little river kind of sneaking through here. It's not done yet. It doesn't come from anywhere and it doesn't lead anywhere either. It just kind of dead ends there. But there was this kind of like half ravine or cave system here. And instead of covering it up, I wanted to incorporate it. So I think that was a cool idea. And we do have to build the valley still. And that's going to be a project we do in a later episode. This has been a long project. It's taken me a long time. And I haven't had a lot of time to play recently either. And then coming over here is going to be the river system that we built. And I think this river system turned out fantastic. I really like the detailing that I did. So any suggestions to improve it would be awesome, but I'm already pretty excited about it. We just got some leaves and simple flowers kind of sneaking around it. And then we got these mossy cobblestones as a detail too. I haven't used those anywhere in the world yet. So I think that's kind of neat and unique. And then we have just like the path blocks every once in a while too, just to add a little bit of a variation in coloring. I like using, I found this trick out recently. You can put lamps underneath lily pads. So that's a cool way to sneak in lighting for the river. I think I used it over here too. Yeah, a couple places. So that's the monument for Spud. I think it turned out pretty great. Here's probably the best view of the tree right now. And then eventually what I'll probably want to do is build some paths that sneak around the field itself. Like maybe have one come around this direction so that we get a good view here, which I think with the buildings in the background, I think that's a great view. And then probably have a couple dirt paths that sneak around the field itself so you can get closer to the tree and get cool views that way. That is kind of my build style, is from the perspective that you're walking around on the ground. So that's why, if you fly around, sometimes the buildings look a little bit derpy. But I try to make everything look good as if you're in the ground itself. Alrighty, so we're going to end the episode here. It's a little bit of a shorter episode. I apologize for that. I did want to ask a pretty big question, although I already did ask a lot this episode. First of all, the easiest way to give me feedback is, of course, to like the video or dislike it. And the next step up there is to leave a comment or not. And I'm really going to hope that you guys leave a comment in this episode, at least answering one of the many questions I've asked. Now, the last question I wanted to ask you guys as I do my backflips here is, what's your favorite thing you've ever seen me do in the Let's Play? Or what's the coolest thing I've done so far in this world? I'm trying to really improve my videos and my Minecrafting abilities. So that kind of feedback is literally invaluable overall. So, an example of that is I like to describe my world as filled with monuments to our major achievements, adventures, right, for our Let's Play, datapack exploration and shenanigans in that regard, as well as building small to big redstone projects. I have a couple actual redstone projects in mind that I want to start trying out. But those are the major topics that I would say describe our world and Let's Play. Of those topics, what do you want to see more of? And what do you think I'm doing a good job at? I guess, in that same vein, what could I improve on? Like, what am I doing a poor job at? I know I'm doing a pretty poor job of making continuous feeling episodes. Like, I don't really do episode recaps or anything like that, and I should probably start doing that. And then the other thing I should probably start doing a better job of is community interaction. I reply to your comments pretty often, or most of the time. But I usually don't feature them in videos as much as I want to or should. So those are both areas of growth that I'm going to start working on. What could you say about that? I would love to hear what you guys think overall. I really trust you guys as commenters and as a community, and I'm extremely thankful for having you guys watch my videos and give me that feedback. And I just hope I can reciprocate it in whoever way seems fit. All right, with that said, you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching. I honestly really appreciate it. You guys have been unbelievably kind. Have a great day. Bye.